Welcome to my today's class. My today's topic is transformation of sentences. So before starting our today's topic or lecture, let me to discuss about the meaning or definition of transformation of sentence. Good. Remember, the opposite term of the word transformation of sentence is changing sentences. Okay, that means transformation of sentences or changing sentences are similar. Both of these terms are similar. This transformation of sentence is very important in English grammar till HSM in intermediate. So you have to pay your attention here. So let's just try to understand the exact definition of transformation. Transformation means changing the structure of the sentence, but without changing the meaning of the sentence. That means you can change the sentence, or you can change the rules of the sentence. So the structure of the sentence can be changed, but the meaning will never be changed. That means the meaning will remain same. So while you are changing or transforming a sentence into another, then you have to remember one thing: you cannot change the meaning of the sentence. Okay, I think you have understood this. Let's now what we are going to discuss today. We will obviously discuss 5 kinds of sentence. We know that according to meaning there are 5 kinds of sentence. One is assertive, second one is interrogative, and third one is imperative, fourth one is optative, and last one or final one is exclamatory. That means we are going to change assertive into interrogative, assertive into exclamatory, or exclamatory into again assertive. Or assertive, we know that there are 2 kinds of assertive sentence. One is affirmative or another one is negative. So we will today start with affirmative to negative. Okay, let's start our today's discussion on transformation. Let's change or migrate the affirmative sentence into negative. So this one is structure. This structure is obviously for negative sentence. That means an affirmative example will be given, and then you have to change those affirmative or that affirmative into negative. Let's say they are good students. Let's see the example. They are good students. They are good students. This sentence is in affirmative or positive form. Okay. So we have to change this affirmative or positive sentence into negative. So while we are changing affirmative into negative, then we have to obviously bring a not, right? That's why here is not inside the sentence. So the structure is subject at first, then verb or auxiliary verb. Okay, and in the next you have to add an additional not. As there is not, that means this is the structure of negative sentence. And then there is a or an. If in the sentence there is article, then article should be inside the structure as well. And then opposite word of adjective. This term is very important. Opposite word of adjective. That means you have to write down the opposite word of the word adjective here. Let's see, the opposite word of the word good is bad. Okay, so you cannot write good again. And the opposite word of the word active is inactive. The opposite word of the word fat is thin, and the opposite word of the word big is small, something like that. Okay, that means you have to write down the opposite word of the word adjective. You know the definition of adjective or examples about examples on adjective as well. So let's try to change this by following these two: subject at first, then verb plus not or a or n, then opposite word of adjective, then the rest of the part. They are good students. This one is in affirmative form, so we have to change into negative, and after the auxiliary verb we have to bring not. they are not. And then the adjective word is good, and the opposite word of the word good is bad. They are not bad students. Let's try to understand the meaning. They are good students and they are not bad students. Is there any change of the meaning? No change. The meaning remains same. The meaning remains same. Okay, that means while you are changing affirmative into negative or affirmative into exclamative, the meaning should be same. There will be no change in meaning. Okay. Same. He is an active man. He is subject, then is auxiliary verb by following the structure. Okay, follow at first, try to follow the structure. Subject, then verb, and then additional not, as we are going to change this one into negative. First one, he is an active man. This one is positive or affirmative. He is not an, the opposite word of the word adjective active is inactive. So he is an active man and he is not an inactive man. Both the meaning are same. So we cannot change the meaning while we are changing affirmative into negative. Okay, hope you have understood this, and then let's try to start our next one. Let's see it. Here is written, turn the following sentence into negative. She is dash hard working. She is a hard working lady. She is a hard working lady. Here subject she is auxiliary verb, a hard working is article, hard working is adjective here. So the opposite word of the hard working is lazy. Hard working means industrious and lazy means it's idle. Okay, so she is a hard working lady. After auxiliary verb there is not. She is not. A remains same, and hard working, the adjective hard working is changed into lazy. Again, they are honest people. After are there is not, they are not, and honest, okay, is adjective, that's why it would be changed. The opposite word of the word honest is dishonest. They are not dishonest people. They are not dishonest people. Say just it's following the rules and regulation. Okay, meaning is not changing. Let's say they are honest people, they are not dishonest people. Meaning remains same. She is a hardworking lady. She is not a lazy lady. That means she is industrious. Okay, they are not dishonest people. That means they are honest. That means meaning is same. Hope you have understood this one also. Let's discuss about another one. This is a beautiful picture. Okay, after the auxiliary verb is, there is not. This is not. And the opposite word here, remember, article can be changed. Okay, because the opposite of the word beautiful is ugly. So before the word ugly, as first alphabet starts with a vowel U, then you have to just write here article N. Okay, otherwise if you write down here A, it will be grammatically mistake. Okay, huge mistake. So this is not an ugly picture. This is not an ugly picture, and this is a beautiful picture. Same. This is not an ugly picture. That means this picture is beautiful. So meaning remains again same. Okay, let's discuss about another. This is an old house. This is remains same, and after the auxiliary verb, as we are changing it into negative, this is an old house. It's affirmative, and this is not a new house. It is a negative. Let's see, the opposite word of the word old is new. So this is not a new house. Again article is changing. Let's see, there is N before the old, as O is oil, and there is article A before the word new, as N is consonant. Okay, this is an old house and this is not a new house. That means this is old house. As again we are following the structure, we are changing the structure, we are bringing not or changing A, but the meaning remains same. So you have to remember it again. Let's discuss some other images. Here some individual work. Look at the pictures and turn them into negative. You can just make some sentences by following these pictures. You have to make some sentences. First image, second image, third image, fourth image, sixth and seventh. You can, sorry, there are 6 images, so you can make 6 sentences by following these images, and obviously by yourself. And then those positive sentences, at first you have to write 6 affirmative sentences by following these 6 images, and then you have to change these 6 affirmative sentences into negative by following this structure. Again, I am showing you the structure: subject plus verb plus not plus article a or n, then opposite word of the adjective, and obviously left part or rest of the parts. Okay, and then let's start about our new rule. Okay, then again let's discuss about some other rules. This one is important. We are again changing affirmative into interrogative. Okay, and this rules is different because before we have discussed about assertive to and then affirmative into negative. Right now we are not in assertive sentence, we are changing affirmative into interrogative. That's why the structure is changing. This one is second structure, that one was first structure, affirmative into negative. But these rules is very different because we are changing affirmative into interrogative. That's why rule is also different. For making any affirmative sentence into interrogative, we have to just know this rule. Let's see at first: don't, or doesn't, or didn't, and then subject plus verb 1 plus rest or left part. That means we are changing any affirmative into negative, and obviously after the interrogative we know that a question mark is mandatory. Otherwise your mark will be deducted in your exam paper if you miss to put the sign on your question after answering. Okay, especially for interrogative. While making interrogative, question mark is mandatory, or sign of interrogation is mandatory. Let's see: the sun rises in the east. This one is assertive or affirmative. The sun rises in the east, and we are changing this one into what? Into interrogative. Okay, that's why as the sun is third person singular number and rises is also singular verb by following third person singular. So for third person singular we have to bring does, as we are changing it into interrogative. That's why we have to add additional not, and does not here together in brief form or short form we have to write it down like that: doesn't. Okay, does not or doesn't. So in short form we have to write here while changing into interrogative: doesn't, then subject the sun. After, let's see again the example. Anyone from these three: doesn't for third person singular, don't for first person or second person or third person plural, and didn't for obviously past form or past indefinite. Okay, then subject the sun, then verb 1, obviously verb 1, and then in the east. Let's see rises, as here is doesn't, so you don't need to write again rises. Okay, as you are following, you have already taken here doesn't, so you shouldn't add here additional s. Okay, here is also one s, or we have just added doesn't by following the sun third person singular. That's why we don't need to follow again here third person singular. We have followed one time and we don't need to again follow it. So doesn't according to structure, then subject the sun, then verb 1 rise. Okay, according to structure, verb 1 rise, and then left part in the east, and then by following the structure there is a question mark. Okay, you have to see this again and again. Okay, let's see the boy ate rice. The boy is third person singular, but ate is in V2 form, past form. Eat, ate, eaten. The boy ate rice. Okay, eat, ate, eaten. That means as the verb is in past form, then you have to bring didn't here as negatives. That's why didn't, did not. Didn't means did not. Okay, didn't in full form, but didn't is in brief or short form. Didn't, then subject the boy. Okay, let's see didn't, then subject, then verb 1. The verb 1 of 8 is eat. Again verb 1. Let's see, the verb 1 of 8 is eat. 8 is V2 and V1 is it. Didn't the boy eat rice? And then question mark. Okay, hope you have understood these rules as well. Let's see some other rules. Turn the following sentence into interrogative again. He bought a cake yesterday. Let's see. B-O-U-G-S-T. Bought. Buy. Bought. Bought. Bought is in past form or V2 form. That's why you have to bring didn't for making it negative. Bought. B-O-U-G-S-T. B-U-Y. Buy is present form or V1. B-O-U-G-S-T. Bought is in past form or V2. Okay. B-O-U-G-S-T. Bought is in past participle form or V3. So here is V2 bought. He bought a cake. Then we have to bring didn't according to structure. Then subject he, and then B-U-Y buy. B-U-Y buy, as bought is V2, buy is V1. By following the structure, didn't plus subject plus buy, then rest, a cake yesterday, then question mark. He came to our house last week. Here came is in V2 form, again past form, that's why you have to bring again didn't. Here didn't, and then subject he, didn't he, and then the V1 of came is come. Didn't he come to our house last week? And at the last there is question mark. So if you have understood, these kinds of sentences are very important for you for answer to the question from model question, especially for English fast part as well. So you have to memorize this structure very clearly, very sharply. Structure, okay, another structure. This one we have already completed 2 structures. This one is number 3. Okay, and for making any affirmative into interrogative, we are making affirmative or assertive into interrogative. Okay, this one also 3rd structure. If there is have, has or had, okay, in the sentence, then how we have to change it. And at first, haven't, hasn't or hadn't. That means haven't means have not. The short form or brief form of the word have not is haven't, and has not should be changed in hasn't, and had not is hadn't. Okay, and then subject, then verb 1, and then this same. Let's see, he has drawn this picture. This sentence is in affirmative or assertive. We are changing this assertive or affirmative into interrogative. Here has is the verb. Okay, and with this auxiliary verb we have to add not, and has not should be in brief from hasn't. Then subject he, hasn't he, and then hasn't he drawn. Okay, here subject plus, sorry, there is a mistake, sorry, inside the structure we have to write down V3. Okay, right now that means haven't, hasn't or hadn't plus subject plus V3. If there is have, has, had, then we know that according to tense or according to the structure of tense or present perfect tense or past perfect, we know that V3 is mandatory. That's why in these types of sentence V3 is mandatory. At first haven't, hasn't or hadn't plus subject plus V3 plus rest of the verb. Hasn't he drew, drawn. Okay, drawn is in past participle or V3 form. So as there is V3 form, so we have to write it again. Okay, hasn't he drawn this picture? There is question mark. Okay, again haven't, hasn't or hadn't plus subject plus V3 plus rest. She had made a cup of tea. Here she had made is V3. You know that after have, has, had, V3 is mandatory. So again in negative sentence V3 is also mandatory. Okay, so had plus not, had not should be changed in hadn't, and then subject she. We are following this structure. Let's see, after hadn't subject. Okay, after hadn't subject, and then V3 of the verb. Made is V3 in V3 form, and it remains same. Made, you know, make, made, a cup of tea there is, and then a sign of exclamation, sign of interrogation. Another one, if there is auxiliary verb is are, that means am, is, are, was, were. Okay, shall, should, will, would, may, might, can, could, something like that. So then we have to follow this structure. Again we are changing affirmative or assertive into negative. Isn't or aren't or wasn't or weren't. then subject, then left part. This rules is rule number 4. Remember, this is rule number 4 for making affirmative into or negative. Okay. Isn't, aren't, wasn't, aren't. That means auxiliary verb plus not, and then subject, then left part. They are working. This one is affirmative, and there is auxiliary verb are. Okay, then we have to bring this auxiliary verb at the first by following this structure. Okay, are, and then add are not means aren't. Okay, are not in short form aren't, and then subject they, aren't they, and then rest working. We were playing football. Were plus not. Here is another mistake. We have to write here weren't. Okay, we have to write here weren't. Okay, I hope you have understand. Sorry, here we have to write down weren't. Let's see, something like that. Okay, weren't we playing football? Weren't we playing football? I hope you all have understood this, and this one is also clear to you again. Okay, we are playing football. Were plus not. Weren't we playing football? So it's again clear to you all. And then individual work for you. Look at the pictures and make interrogative sentences. Here, number 1, some boys are reading in the library and teacher with the students. Okay, and then there are 3 girls. What are they doing? You have to understand. And there is a marathoner. Okay, especially he won in marathon or race. So you have to make 4 individual sentences, and then you have to change these affirmative sentence into interrogative. But first make 4 affirmative sentences from these 4 pictures, and then change these sentences into interrogative. Hope you will be able to do this or complete this. So if you have any question for transformation of sentence, especially from assertive into interrogative, or from affirmative into negative, or affirmative into negative, or assertive into interrogative, or affirmative into interrogative, please then ask me. I will try my best. I will try my level best to solve your problem. Okay, and keep me in your prayer. That's all about my today's lecture. Hope you will do well